Many children grow up hearing that life isn't fair. However, what happens when these children grow up to realize that their judicial system also isn't fair? In my previous speech, I talked about how wealthy individuals receive preferential treatment in judicial sentencing versus lower-class citizens. I gave two examples, the first being Oscar Pistorius and the second being Ethan Couch. Both of these individuals committed crimes worthy of harsher sentencing than what they received. Pistorius faced little jail time for manslaughter before being granted house arrest to a mansion. The typical manslaughter charges face up to 10 years in prison. Ethan Couch faced no jail time for 4 counts of intoxicated manslaughter. He only received 10 years of probation. Sadly, the list goes on when it comes to wealthy people being excluded from the typical rule of law. According to John DeGraff, a co-producer and author on the topic of affluenza, to point the finger at that kid, Ethan Couch, because he's the most crazy example of this, allows us in some way to avoid the fact that this is much, much bigger within our society as a whole. It is apparent that this is an issue, and today I will provide what causes this unequal sentencing as well as what we can do to solve it. There are several causes to wealthy receiving preferential treatment in the legal system. The biggest being that wealthy, according to prisonlegalnews.org, have the money to provide charitable donations to sheriffs, legislators, and other elected officials' campaigns. This swings the bias in favor for wealthy because officials don't want to lose their campaign funding. By doing this, the legal system is putting a greater importance on money than law. This was seen in a case that the TexasTribune.org reported on. In this case, a 71-year-old man named Leonel Garza died of a heart attack. His family won their lawsuit for $7.75 million against the anti-inflammatory drug Vioxx. Merck, who represented the drug company, appealed to the Texas Supreme Court. In 2011, the Texas Supreme Court unanimously sided with the drug company. In this case, the justices who sided with Merck had received at least $85,000 in campaign contributions from Merck. Courts need to begin demanding better, unbiased sentencing that requires a change in the wealthy feeling entitled and above the law. Courts can solve this problem by not allowing the affluenza defense, otherwise defined by the Huffington Post as a plea for wealthy individuals who are unable to understand their consequences due to financial privilege. By not allowing this defense, the courts could finally begin teaching the lesson of consequences to those who claim to have never had them. Also, laws can be made to prevent biased sentencing due to campaign contributions. Before sentencing, financial contributions can be assessed to determine whether or not bias is present in the case. Finally, us as citizens can be a part of this solution. By using your vote as a voice that biased sentencing will not be tolerated. Ask those running for sheriff, district attorney, state legislators, and state Supreme Court justices where they stand on this issue and vote accordingly. As Charles de Montesquieu says, there is no greater tyranny than that which is perpetrated under the shield of the law and in the name of justice.